till I find my way back home. You know, Max Crawdaddy at Triple R came up with the title. He didn't even know that. I was sitting there going, what do you call it? Because I didn't want it to have a name. I didn't want a name on it at all. I just wanted people to refer to it as the double album, or Lloyd's double live album, or whatever it might be. And at the end of my interview with Max Crawdaddy, he said, I'm really looking forward to the double live set. And I went, that'll do. Because I think, it was because it's a 25-year sort of anthology of my material, recorded in one show. I wanted it to kind of have a classic sort of energy about it, and by putting some name on it, or live at the Spiegel tent, which is what everyone wanted it to be, but my name's Lloyd Spiegel, so that would just seem a little tacky. It ended up being double live set because that's how we kept referring to it. So when it was time to do the artwork, I just went, I'll just pop that on it, and see how it goes. And as it turns out, everyone seems to like it. I worked so hard on the set list for those shows. I've never had a set list in my life. I've always just got on stage and just let the show happen. Much to Tim Burnham, who plays drums with me, much to his dismay, he'd never know what was going on. So this one, we rehearsed a set list, and I spent weeks on it, making sure it was right, and had all the elements from the very first songs I played right through to the new stuff I'm doing, songs that I've always done live but never recorded, things like that, and then also selecting a certain amount of songs that were on old albums that had never been performed that we could rework, and then I got on stage, and about 3 songs in, I completely changed the set list. Made it up as I went along, so the songs that have ended up on there are not even close to what's on the list. Yeah, I use 2 guitars. So the double album is, one album is all solo and one of them is all duo with Tim Burnham playing drums, and my brother jumps up and plays a couple with us as well. I actually use this guitar for the solo stuff. Cole Clark's recently got into Redwood. They literally stumbled on it. When I say they literally stumbled on it, the CEO himself was walking through a park and noticed there was some near his holiday house. So Redwood's just got this beautiful tone about it. It's a bit more acoustic than what I ordinarily use in the Bunya Top. The Bunya Top has a great sound because it's kind of this dead sound to it that I wanted for that solo, for the duo show. But this I actually got about a week before that gig, and wanted up on stage just to see how it would sound, and it's ended up being my go-to solo guitar now. That's been my number one issue with acoustic guitars since I started playing them, is that I'd play it at home and it wouldn't sound like that once I plugged it in. It was this constant battle of EQing and trying to find a natural sound, because tone's in your fingers, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you can't hear your fingers, then you're never going to have the sound you want, the one that you get in your bedroom. So until Cole Clark came along with this pickup system, I was not hearing myself, and not hearing what I wanted. Now I tend to find that I can tell engineers to just leave the guitar flat and let me control it from here. It gives me a lot more power over my sound, and I'm actually hearing my fingers for the first time. It changes every time. You learn a little something each time you record them. The Cole Clark I actually DI when I record, and that's not common with acoustics, I guess, but there's at least 50% DI, and then all I tend to do is put a couple of ambient mics above the head, and pull a sound like that. Again, tones in the fingers, so you want to actually hear what's going on the instrument. Ordinarily, playing for the industry is hard, really hard, especially because there are these events, they haven't seen each other for 6-9 months, so they're all sitting around chatting. It's hard to get their attention. I think the industry as well sees so many great musicians come through, and so you kind of get on stage and wonder what you have to do to impress them. Whatever it is I'm doing at NAMM, I'm doing it okay, because they've invited me back 3 years running and kind of told me I've got a gig whenever I want one. But I think the difference at the NAMM show is that I'm playing for American audiences who really understand blues music. So that's been a huge bonus to sort of get in front of them and get a little raucous. Because as you well know, trade shows can be somewhat dull at times. They're a lot of fun in some ways, but standing on your feet all day talking about the same product over and over and over again, it's actually nice to take an hour off and go and actually strum a guitar and vent. Walk on, walk on. funny enough, I mean, I used to go to the Frankston Guitar Festival, you know, when I was a kid, and I grew up in Mordialloc, so that was a little trip away. That was always great fun. But funny enough, it was actually the home show, the Melbourne home show that I went to, where I got my first actual guitar. And it was an Eddie Van Halen Candy Stripe knockoff Torch Vintage series that I still got. But you know, I think something like this show coming up is so essential for Melbourne. We're a music culture. We're definitely a guitar culture. I mean, it's you know, when you look back and think, who are you going to put on the bill for this thing? It's who has to miss out? There's so many amazing players, you know, so you've probably got 10 years worth of players that you could book right away. I'm knocked out by the amount of guitar playing talent Melbourne has, so I'm actually looking forward to it. It's long overdue. Melbourne guitar players and Australian guitar players have a real brotherhood about it. There doesn't seem to be heaps of ego, and there's not a lot of sort of, you know, talking behind people's backs. I think, well, not that I know, maybe they're talking behind mine, but you know, I really like that we all kind of know each other and respect it. The Port Fairy Folk Festival, where they have the big guitar show each year, is what taught me that. They'll have 8 guitarists on stage, and they're all from completely different scenes. They've all heard of each other, and they all respect each other as musicians. They all sit quietly and let the others do their thing, and no one kind of tries to outdo anybody. It's a really good energy about it, and I think that's the safest way to ensure the future of the industry. I gotta keep on walking till I find my way. I keep on walking till I find my way. Keep on walking till I find my way back home.